4 ways to get quick cash for good deals. Now, this is not about getting money for real estate. I have great videos on that topic already. Hard money loans, owner financing, subject to all kinds of creative ways in which to accomplish that. I'm talking about getting some quick money for any kinds of good deals, whether it's real estate or other business opportunities. And a lot of people are surprised when I share these kind of concepts because they're like, Phil, so are you talking about borrowing money? Yes, I am. I'm actually a big fan of debt, if it's good debt. There's a big difference between good debt and bad debt. I got a great video on that subject, and the title is kind of interesting. It's Why Pay Off Student Loans? In that video, I go into great detail with this idea that certain things that you can put your money into can produce huge returns. The bigger problem people have with debt is when they blow the money on personal things like vacations or a bigger house they don't need or a bigger car they don't need. What I'm focused on is when you're using debt reasonably and responsibly for money-making endeavors, for those that can bring much bigger returns. Because another video I have on personal finance is this topic of being very aggressive with business expenditures, but then being very conservative with personal ones. And that one's personal finance advice you'll hear nowhere else. So we're talking about 4 ways in which you can get access to quick cash or capital, if you will, or credit, if you will, and to do that for good deals. Remember I said the word good. We don't do this for things that are unproductive. They need to be good deals. Number 1, borrow from your 401k. I love this idea because you're borrowing from yourself. You're paying yourself back interest. Most 401k plans allow you to borrow money from them. Now, I'm a huge fan of a specific type of 401k retirement plan that I call a solo 401k. And I've got a great video on how that works right here. The solo 401k allows you to borrow up to $50,000. And so it's money that is yours. You have to pay yourself back interest. But wow, what a great tool that can be. And now if your 401k administrator, you have to call to ask, but if they don't allow you to borrow money, perhaps you can roll that over into a different retirement plan that would allow you to do that, right? Especially if your employer is matching your retirement, make sure you take full advantage of that. That's free money. But what's so beautiful is you then might have the ability to borrow from it. So that's the first way you can get quick cash. It's absolutely my favorite way to do it. Number 2 is lines of credit. And there's actually 3 different types of lines of credit. The one that most people know about is what we call a HELOC. You may have heard that phrase before. Home Equity Line of Credit. And so that's going to be against your house. And I have a home equity line of credit against my house. And about every 2 years, I expand it, make it bigger as the value goes up. And I use the heck out of my line of credit for funding my apprentices deals, funding my own deals. The money goes out, comes back in a few months later, in and out, in and out, in and out it goes. Interest rates are low, and it's absolutely fantastic. But a lot of people can't get these. Either one, their house doesn't have enough equity to do a line of credit because they usually don't want to go more than 80% loan to value. Another problem is you might not have the credit or the application worthiness to be able to get a line of credit against your house. Or you might just not even own a house, right? So what do you do there? Well, you can do what I did when I was first getting started. I got a personal line of credit. Specifically for me, it was a local bank, Bank of Nashville. I got a $7,000 personal line of credit. And that was a huge, huge detail for me. I used that to pay sellers for them to move out. I used it to cover a contractor before the closing. I mean, it was literally a lifesaver. And Jonathan from Bank of Nashville, I don't know if you still work there. It's been 20 years. Thank you, man. If you're out there watching, you changed my world with that little $7K personal line of credit way back in the day. All right, so that's another thing you might be able to do. I don't know that a lot of the larger banks offer them, but some of the smaller banks will do that, and it's against your personal credit, that kind of thing. And then the third one, and this one gets really exciting for some, especially that have had a business going for a little bit, is a business line of credit. These are attached to your business. So if you've set up an LLC and you've been trying to flip houses for a year or two or something like that, you might be able to establish a line of credit, and then what you do is you use it, and then you can begin to build it larger and larger. A lot of my apprentices that have graduated, they have set up very large business lines of credit because, they're making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in their business, and so they get a line of credit against that business. And that can be really, really special because you don't have to use the money. It's there if you need it, but you don't have to use it. So I really love lines of credit as another option, especially considering the fact that with most lines of credit, it's kind of like a bank account. You can just, on your online banking, just move the money over, right? So it's almost as good as cash, which is a little bit different than credit cards, which we'll get into next. Number 3 is credit cards. There's a lot of great little tips to share with you on this subject. First of all, credit cards do have a higher interest rate, so you do have to be responsible with them. But first of all, you probably already have a personal card. And if you do, I hope you're moving a lot of your personal expenses that accept credit cards through your personal so you can get the rewards. I mean, it's like free money or it's free flights. Go for it. Now, I have a Citi double cash. That's 2%. 1% when you spend, 1% when you pay off. I pay it off at the end of each month. That really adds up over time. So personal cards, yes, you already probably know about those. Where I get really excited, though, is with business credit cards. I'm surprised by how many real estate investors don't have one of these. A business credit card. First of all, you can still get the rewards, maybe not quite as big on the personal side, but you get the rewards, but it doesn't show up on your credit report, which can be helpful in all kinds of ways. So if you don't already have a business credit card, go get you one. There's a great one with Capital One called Spark. Capital One Spark. There's another one that Citi provides, Simplicity. Chase has the Ink card. American Express actually can be a little bit easier to get than some of the others, although American Express, I don't like the rewards as much. And then if you get your bank account set up with Bank of America, oftentimes they'll give you a business credit card right there at the same time you're setting up your bank account. So a lot of options there. Now, one quick tip for you is you can call up or sometimes go online or onto your app and you can request an increase in your availability. Why not? Get access to more capital. You don't have to use it, but get access to it. Now, some also bring up the point, well, Phil, you talked about cash, and these are credit cards. Well, actually, there's another option out there these days called Plastique, and that's a service where you can actually pay people that don't accept credit cards. The cost is 2.5%. So I'm going to have links to all of these ideas down below here in the blog post that talks about this subject. So summarize, credit cards is another great way to get quick cash for good deals. Number 4. Creatively, I say other credit sources. The first example would be PayPal. Some folks that I've interacted with have been using the PayPal small loan they provide. Apparently it's very convenient, it's easy to get, so PayPal might be an option. Another option that I have no experience, but obviously it's a big deal these days, and that is peer-to-peer lending. Peer-to-peer lending. So you may know a lot more about that than I do. There's a lot of different companies that provide that, different terms. Certain companies have certain niches over others. So that's a big, expansive topic that I'm unfortunately not going to dive into here in this video because of my limited experience. Some of you watching may have a lot more experience. You can drop some notes about what you've learned about peer-to-peer lending down below. All right, well, I'm Phil Pustiovsky, by the way, with Freedom Mentor. I am a mentoring coach and one of the most experienced real estate investors alive. And I hope this video has shared with you some techniques on how you can come up with some quick cash for some good deals you have going on. If you want to learn more about how to be an incredibly successful real estate investor, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, watch some more of my videos, and dive into the content I provide, because what I try to do is provide truth, signal, wisdom, the good stuff. And I try to avoid wasting any of your time when you watch one of my videos. And also, if you want to learn how to be a market-leading, money-making machine, ace of a real estate investor, consider my apprentice program where my team and I, we mentor, we coach, and we turn people into money-making machines. I think I've got a link right here you can apply. And if you don't already have access to it, get access to my book, How to Be a Real Estate Investor. It's absolutely free. I give it away on these videos. Get access to this book. And if you want to learn about how to get money for a real estate purchase, slightly different topic than this one here, I've got a great video on that right there. We talk about things like hard money loans, but then we talk about things like creative financing as well. All right, well, thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.